Since the new foreign substance policy in Major League Baseball came out, a lot of pitchers have reacted to this foreign substance policy. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about that and why Major League Baseball could be in big trouble with this new policy, with the way pitchers are reacting, and with the new CBA coming up next offseason. That's going to be pretty big, and it's going to suck. So yeah, that's going to be today's video. But before I get into this video, 88% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed, so get your life together and hit that subscribe button, turn notifications, and leave a like on this video. Subscribe, turn notifications, and leave a like, and let's go ahead and get into this video. So we're first going to talk about Tyler Glasnow and what he said, because I think that's probably the most interesting one here. So Tyler Glasnow, in his most recent start versus the Chicago White Sox, he got injured. And he has a partially torn UCL and a flexor tendon strain. So if we look today, the Rays actually acquired Mike Ford from division rival New York Yankees for a player to be named later in cash. And they transferred their ace, Tyler Glasnow, to the 60-day injured list and activated Colin McHugh. Now, the Rays have the best farm system in Major League Baseball right now by a lot of people's standards. My farm system rankings are going to be coming out this week or next. I'm not exactly sure. And with this, Tyler Glasnow said some interesting stuff here. And I can understand why Glasnow's mad, because you don't really change up the rules halfway through the season. That's just not something you do. And he said in this interview, if you listen to the interview, that a doctor told him that what MLB doesn't realize is that there could be injuries from this. And he happens to be one of the ones that gets injured. But he gets injured more than these other players. And I think this doctor might have been onto something here. Because if we look here, look at some of the pitchers who got injured over the last week. You've got Max Scherzer, you've got Shane Bieber, and Jacob deGrom got injured last night as he's been dealing with some injuries as well. So since this foreign substance policy has came out, pitchers have been getting injured more, and that's not good for Major League Baseball. And Tyler Glasnow said as well, he basically admitted to cheating in some people's eyes. But here's the thing. He said that he used sunscreen and rosin. That was his choice of substance. And here's the thing. This is not the substance that's the big problem here. This is just for grip. He's not using this for spin rate nor to make him a better pitcher. He's just using it simply for grip on the baseball, compared to somebody who's using spider tack, who is just making them a better pitcher and improving their spin rate. There's a big difference here, because you're not using sunscreen and rosin, and sunscreen and rosin is not even that illegal, if we're being honest. Yes, technically it's illegal, but using spider tack is really what Major League Baseball is trying to stop here. And that's the big thing that they're trying to stop here. It's not necessarily pitchers using sunscreen and rosin. And that's the stuff that, in my opinion, should be legalized, because I'm not sure about the grip on the ball, but a lot of people are complaining. Even Garrett Cole came out and said that the grip on the ball is very hard to grip. And Tyler Glasnow even said in the interview that you've got to use some kind of foreign substance on this. If you felt these balls, as he said, then you would have to use some kind of foreign substance. You would have to. And like I said, I don't have a Major League Baseball right here, a 2021 one. But here's the thing. You do need to do it in the offseason. And I agree with Tyler Glasnow on this one. You do need to do it in the offseason. You can't expect pitchers to pitch 70 to 80 innings and then just put a new memo out there. You can't do that. That's not what you do. And the MLB and the MLBPA are already not on good terms. By the way, if you remember back the 2020 season, the reason that we only played 60 games in 2020 was not totally because of COVID. It was partly because of COVID, but it was also because the MLB and the MLBPA could not agree on a season format, and Rob Manfred ended up having to come up with a season. And the CBA is up after this year, and that's going to be big. And there's going to be some kind of foreign substance stuff in there to try to prevent pitchers from using foreign substances. And you've got to legalize something, because it sounds like the balls are very, very hard to grip, and you don't. And the grip is what you need here. And by not letting them use the sunscreen and the rosin, I think you're getting on the hitter's bad side as well, because the hitters are fine with the sunscreen and rosin. They actually encourage the sunscreen and rosin. What they don't want is some spider tack to where it makes it look like you're throwing wiffle balls out there. That's when they draw the line. But they don't draw the line on the sunscreen and the rosin, because the sunscreen and rosin actually is helping them, because they get a better grip on the ball so they don't get hit in the face or hit in the head, which is good. We don't need players getting hit in the head like Kevin Pillar this year. And I'm sorry that it happened to Kevin Pillar. And it just can't happen. Carlos Rendon also kind of said this as well. He said that, like, you're not gonna punish the Astros, but you're gonna take away from pitchers. Which, here's the thing: if you're using spider tack and you've already got the advantage with the new baseball against the hitter, then pitchers were at an advantage this year if you were using spider tack. If you were using sunscreen and rosin, then you don't get a big advantage. Your spin rate's not going to increase. And Tyler Glasnow has no problem with spin rate. He's 6'7", and he said he has huge hands. Like, he doesn't have a problem with spin rate. That's not what he's trying to do. So pitcher spin rate have been increasing. But the punishments itself just do not seem that great either. Like, there just doesn't make a ton of sense. 10 games, for one, sounded extremely weak when I first heard that. Not to mention, with pay is a big problem here too. With pay is a huge problem. And Major League Baseball and the Players Association are not on good terms. And this is why a strike, as they call it, could kind of happen in Major League Baseball, because we're not in good hands right now. Definitely not. Not to mention that we have the worst commissioner in all of sports in Rob Manfred controlling Major League Baseball. And we're just not in a good scenario right now. Not in a good scenario at all. And the Players Association and Major League Baseball are not on good terms. And that's going to be a huge problem when they're negotiating the CBA after this season. And that's going to be really bad. Because I don't know that we will play a full season in 2022. I don't know that there will be a season at all in 2022. Now, I can about guarantee you that there will be some games in 2022, because they have to get the money. They have to get the TV ratings. They have to get all that. And, yeah, now if we look over to Garrett Cole, he had a press conference too, which his was just weird. Like, I hate his press conferences. It's just so bad. I was trying to watch it, and I was just like, I can't watch this anymore because it's that bad. He's just like, and it just gets on my nerves. So, if we look here, he is frustrated as well over the MLB substance regulation. And here's what he had to say. He said, it's so hard to grip the ball. For Pete's sake, it's part of the reason why almost every player on the field had something, regardless if they're a pitcher or not, to help them control the ball. So that's very interesting here, too, that even players like a second baseman, even DJ LeMahieu, for example, on the Yankees, could still have to use some kind of rosin. Rosin with sweat even worked. And Trevor Bauer, he had a picture of, like, the ball was sticking to his hands. The ball was sticking to his hands. And he was like, is this illegal or not to Major League Baseball, which is very interesting as well. And it just kind of doesn't seem right either, because, like, how much is too sticky? Like, I just don't know here. So, Tyler Glasnow also kind of blamed Major League Baseball of flying. And I can understand why he would blame Major League Baseball. And he also said, like, if you're a pitcher, Cy Young is really the one you want to win. You want to get to All-Star games, too. And because of this, he's now injured. He may have to have Tommy John surgery, which is not looking like he's going to have. And Glasnow is a Cy Young contender for the AL Cy Young before getting injured. And it said that surgery was not recommended, which is very, very good. But surgery is usually what this leads to, which is not good at all. And it sucks for the Rays, because now they are without their ace. And yes, they have all these great prospects. Luis Patino. They have so many good prospects in their farm system. But you cannot expect these prospects to be to the level of Tyler Glasnow, who was their ace pitcher and one of the best pitchers in the American League this year. You cannot expect that. And pitchers are getting hurt all over, like I was saying. Max Scherzer, Shane Bieber, Jacob deGrom, some of the best pitchers in this game are getting hurt. And it's not good for Major League Baseball. The product on the field is getting worse because of this, and it's not doing well so far. And it's not gonna change for these pitchers. It's gonna stay the exact same. Major League Baseball is not changing it. And that's why Major League Baseball is not in good hands at all right now. And it's going to be hard to get anything done. Anything done here. Anything done. It doesn't make sense in the middle of the season either. And Glasnow said that he had to switch his whole fastball grip and his curveball grip just for these rules. And it's not fair that pitchers have to go through that in the middle of the season. And it's not fair either for hitters that they, for one, have to hit spider tack and all that on the baseballs. It was extremely unfair for the hitters. I understand that as well, that it was extremely unfair. Now, we've talked about Tyler Glasnow. We've talked about the Rays kind of needing somebody to kind of fill in for Glasnow's spot in the rotation. Obviously, no one's gonna be as good as Glasnow is unless you're trading for Max Scherzer, which is extremely unlikely for this Tampa Bay Rays team. So now I'm going to look at 5 trades that the Rays need to at least consider to possibly replace Tyler Glasnow's, some of him. One player is Tyler Anderson of the Pirates. I'm pretty sure he's on a 1-year deal. The Rays are looking for control in these trades too. They really like control because they don't like to pay players a ton of money. And Tyler Anderson, I would say, is a little unlikely. Kyle Gibson of the Rangers, though, I think a lot of teams are going to be looking for him. And the Rays, if they want to, they can include probably the best package of any Major League Baseball team, considering how many prospects they have and how many good prospects they have. They could really have a really good package for the Rangers to possibly get. Another player, if the Twins are selling, is Jose Barrios of the Twins. He still has 2 more years of control, and he would be an interesting player. Morel Kelly of the Diamondbacks, who had a breakout 2020 season. And one player that they've already traded away is German Marquez, who's on the Rockies. They actually traded him away in the Jake McGee trade, if you didn't know. And he could definitely be an option. Now, if I'm looking through all these options, Morel Kelly or Kyle Gibson, I think, is the most likely. And I think Morel Kelly might be the most likely option here, considering that I think Morel Kelly has a ton of potential. And the Rays always do great things with their pitchers. And Morel Kelly could be another example of that. And Kyle Gibson's already really good on his other team. But Tyler Anderson, I see more of like as an off-season target for them that would not cost a lot of money and they could possibly get. Now, for the Rays right now, they're 43-26, still a game in the lead of the AL East. They're 7-3 in their last 10 on a 2-game losing streak. They're still going to be a very good team. Rich Hill's still pitching like an ace this year. And they're still in good hands this year. They've got the best manager in baseball in Kevin Cash. And they're still in pretty good hands, but this has to hurt to lose Tyler Glasnow. And it's going to be tough for them because Tyler Glasnow was so good. And here's the thing. Now, the Rays do not have Glasnow, but they're going to get more and more healthy when Nick Anderson's going to be coming back, I think, after the All-Star break-ish. So they are going to be getting a little more healthy. They can still bring Wander Franco up if they want to and other players. But this is a huge blow for the Rays. And whether it was MLB's fault or not, it sure does seem like something's happening here. It sure seems like that this could be right, that MLB kind of did contribute to this injury a little bit. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because like I said, 88% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. So go ahead and get your life together and hit that subscribe button, turn notifications, and leave a like. Thank you for watching, and peace.